You've spent years thinking you're just average. Not bad, not great, just another guy in the crowd. Maybe you've even told yourself that women don't really see you. No compliments, no stars, no numbers handed over. And every time you see another man getting obvious female attention, you assume you're invisible by comparison. But what if that assumption is dead wrong? What if the most attractive men are the ones who don't even realize how magnetic they are because they've been taught to look for the wrong signals? Here's the truth. Most men never hear. Women rarely express attraction in the ways men expect. They don't walk up and say it. They send quiet signals, glances, positioning, energy shifts. And if you're not trained to notice them, you'll miss all of it. The harsh reality is this: you've been using the wrong scale to measure your worth. Attraction isn't loud. It isn't cinematic. It's subtle, psychological, and deeply instinctual. This video isn't here to boost your ego. It's here to open your eyes. Because chances are, you've been more attractive than you ever imagined. You just didn't know how to see it. This video isn't about flirty compliments or women chasing after you. It's about revealing something deeper, the quiet, overlooked signals that show you're far more attractive than you think. Most men are waiting for grand gestures, a woman boldly asking for his number or throwing obvious signs. But that's not how attraction truly works. Real female attraction is subtle. It hides in body language, in where she stands, in the glances she repeats but quickly looks away from. And if you don't know how to recognize these cues, you'll keep underestimating yourself, missing opportunities you didn't even know were there. By the end of this video, you'll see with new eyes, not just how women behave around you, but how you've been misreading your own value. Because once you learn to decode these subtle truths, you'll never see yourself or her responses the same way again. The version of attraction fed to men by Hollywood is not just wrong, it's misleading. In movies, interest is loud, direct, obvious. So men expect real life to work the same way. They believe that if a woman likes them, she'll say something, approach them, flirt openly, because that's how they express interest clearly, without games. But female psychology operates differently. It's quiet, strategic. It reveals itself through posture, glances, timing, and emotional energy, not words. And if you're expecting fireworks, you'll miss the spark entirely. What's more ironic is this: men who are truly attractive often don't even realize it. They hold themselves to unrealistic standards, comparing their looks or lifestyle to airbrushed ideals, instead of the average man around them. Meanwhile, men with far less appeal sometimes carry false confidence simply because their standards are lower. This mismatch creates a strange reality where the men women want most are the very ones least aware of their impact. And all the while, she's already noticed you, long before you noticed her noticing. When a woman feels drawn to a man, she doesn't rush in. She hesitates, not because she isn't interested, but because she doesn't want to appear too eager or vulnerable. This inner conflict is what psychologists call approach avoidance, the desire to get closer, clashing with the fear of being exposed. The result: behavior that walks a careful line, actions that reveal her attraction but still give her room to deny it if she needs to. And that's exactly why most men miss it. Female attraction doesn't scream. It whispers. It begins with how she watches you, not with a single glance, but with repeated eye contact that lingers just a second too long. She locks eyes, then quickly looks away, pretending it was nothing. But it wasn't. If you keep your presence grounded and aware, you'll see her eyes come back, over and over again. She's not staring. She's checking, watching, processing. And then there's positioning. She'll drift into your proximity at events or social gatherings. Maybe she joins the group conversation you're in. Maybe she's suddenly standing nearby, sipping her drink within earshot. It's not coincidence. She's placing herself where you can see her, where she can feel your presence without forcing a direct interaction. She might not say a word, but her body will. Some women will station themselves just at the edge of your vision, watching without looking like they're watching. Others will move in loops around you, passing by multiple times, using excuses to orbit your space. She may walk across the room to grab something she doesn't need right near where you're standing. She may lean in slightly when you speak, even if she's not in the conversation. All of this is strategic. All of it is silent. Attraction, for women, is often more about testing than declaring. She's watching how you carry yourself, how you respond without being told. She wants to know if your awareness is deeper than surface signals. And the men who see these subtle cues, who respond calmly, without chasing, are the ones who trigger her deeper curiosity. Because it's not about the loudest man in the room. It's about the man who notices what others don't and moves with quiet power because of it. Attractive men often don't need to initiate social contact. Women simply place themselves nearby, joining conversations, sitting at the same table, or inserting themselves into shared activities. This isn't accidental. It's her way of aligning with his energy, while silently gauging his openness. But it goes deeper. When you speak, the room adjusts. Voices lower. People turn. Not because you demanded attention, but because your presence shifts the rhythm of the group. Psychologists call this the halo effect, the tendency to associate physical attractiveness with intelligence, credibility, and leadership. People don't just hear your words. They interpret them as more valuable. They pause for your input. They look to you for cues on how to proceed. Suddenly, your casual opinion becomes group consensus. Your preferences subtly guide the direction of the conversation. Your presence becomes permission. Women notice this, even if they don't realize it. The man who moves the group without effort activates something deeper in her psychology. It's not loud confidence or flashy charisma. It's quiet control. A calm gravity that draws others in and gives weight to everything you say. This influence isn't something you perform. It's something you radiate when you know who you are, and don't need to prove it. When a woman is drawn to you, her body responds before her mind does. She doesn't plan it, but suddenly, she mirrors your posture. You lean back. So does she. You touch your jaw moments later. Her hand follows the same path. This isn't mimicry. It's resonance. When attraction is genuine, she subconsciously aligns with your presence. Her gestures reflect yours. Her body language syncs to your rhythm without effort. But it goes deeper. She doesn't just copy movements. She starts to match your energy. Speak slowly and calmly. And she softens her tone, show playful energy, and she becomes lighter too. She doesn't do it to impress. She does it to connect. And over time, you'll hear it in the way she speaks. She adopts phrases you use. Her expressions start to echo yours, not to imitate, but because she's absorbing the essence of who you are. This isn't performance. It's reflection. And it tells you one thing: she's paying attention. Not just to what you say, but to the way you are. Call to action. Before we dive deeper into these hidden signs of attraction, Take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. These insights into male psychology aren't just information, they're tools most men never get. Your support helps bring this truth to more men who need it. If you're ready to see yourself clearly and move differently in the dating world, stick around. What's coming next might shift how you view yourself and how women respond to you. Women rarely say, "I'm attracted to you." Instead, they say things like, "There's something about you. You have a calming energy." Or, "I just feel safe around you." Those aren't compliments. They're signals. She's trying to express something she can't fully explain, because real attraction doesn't come from just your looks. It's the way you make her feel when you're near. Women often struggle to describe what draws them in. That's because it's not one thing, it's a mix. Your voice, your calmness, your confidence, your stillness. They blend into something she can't label, but can't ignore. That's why attractive men often hear things like, "I was thinking about what you said." "You're stuck in my mind." These aren't random words. They're proof that you've left an impression emotionally, not just physically. Now, look closely. When you walk into a room, do conversations pause? Do people subtly turn their bodies toward you? That's social gravity. It happens because people, men and women, can sense presence. You'll notice repeated glances too. Not long stares, but short looks, again and again. She might look away fast, but she keeps looking back. That's her mind, checking in, testing what she feels, without fully admitting it. If you want to understand your impact, don't look for big signs. Pay attention to these small, quiet ones. Because attraction, when it's real, is subtle, but it never hides for long. When a high-value man enters a room, the atmosphere shifts. Voices lower, eyes turn. The energy of the space subtly rearranges itself. People adjust their posture. It's not magic, it's presence. And presence changes hierarchy without a word. Pay close attention to how other men respond. Strong men, the ones who know their own worth, will show quiet respect. They'll make room, listen closely, and treat you like a peer, not a rival, because they understand value when they see it. Then there are the imitators. They'll start copying you. Your walk, your grooming, even your slang. They don't do it to mock you, they do it because something in you feels like leadership. They hope that by mirroring your style, they can borrow your effect. But not every man admires in silence. Some feel threatened and they act out. They get louder. They try to one-up your stories. They insert themselves where they weren't needed, just to compete. Here's the twist. That competition confirms your dominance. If you weren't a presence, they wouldn't feel the need to push back. And then come the subtle attacks, the eye rolls, the exclusion from group chats, the passive-aggressive jokes. It's not pettiness, it's panic. A desperate attempt to regain status. Don't take it personally. Take it as proof. Because when men start reacting to you like this, you're not just attractive. You're a shift in the social order. You don't have to say a word, people will make assumptions the moment you walk in. They'll think you have options. They'll assume women want you, that you're never alone. Not because you brag, but because your confidence suggests it. It's the quiet ones who draw curiosity, and when your presence speaks louder than your words, people start filling in the blanks with power and romance. You'll notice women acting territorial, even if they barely know you. They'll lean closer in conversation, interrupt you less, and become uncomfortable when other women are around. Why? because, in their mind, you're a man worth protecting access to. You'll also notice something strange: people treat you like you're already successful. They'll assume you have a great job, a good background, influence, wealth, reputation. That's the halo effect in action, where confidence and appearance become proof of status. And then, the question begins, not surface level, but personal. Are you seeing anyone? What kind of woman are you into? Why are you still single, they ask, because they care. Because your silence created mystery, and your presence made them wonder. Attractive men often don't realize how attractive they actually are. Why? Because they've become used to attention. When you constantly receive eye contact, compliments, and respect, it stops feeling rare. It becomes background noise. You assume everyone gets treated this way. You forget that your experience isn't average. Then there's comparison. You don't compare yourself to everyday guys. You compare yourself to athletes, actors, and the most polished versions of masculinity. You measure yourself against perfection, not reality. No wonder you feel like you're falling short. And here's the twist. The more self-aware you are, the more likely you are to doubt your own appeal. Humility, while admirable, can blur your perspective. But once you start noticing the subtle signals, the looks, the curiosity, the influence, your confidence starts to shift. And when confidence rises, so does your attractiveness. This creates a loop that feeds itself. Recognizing your impact isn't about arrogance, it's about alignment. When you see yourself clearly, you stop settling for less. You stop doubting. You start choosing better. And that quiet shift changes everything. Attraction doesn't grow in a straight line. It compounds like interest. The more people perceive you as valuable, the more others automatically follow that belief. Your appeal builds momentum. Suddenly, you're being invited into better circles, offered better connections, introduced to women you haven't even noticed yet, because word travels. People talk about men who are rare. Your reputation becomes louder than your presence. This is the network effect, and the more strategic your positioning, the faster it spreads. Some environments amplify you. A boardroom, a conference, a leadership event where competence meets composure. You don't have to flex. Your calm energy does the work. In these spaces, attraction isn't loud. It's layered, part image, part intelligence, part tone. You'll notice people defer, ask for your input, or sit closer without knowing why. Social settings trigger different cues. At a party or casual event, attraction becomes bolder. Women linger longer, lock eyes, stand near, laugh louder when you speak. The walls drop. Subtle becomes obvious. But here's the key. You didn't chase it. You earned it. Attractiveness isn't just what you show, it's what the world reflects back to you when you're aligned with who you are. Where you spend your time can dramatically shape how others perceive your attractiveness. Certain environments highlight specific traits. At the gym, it's your physique. In intellectual settings, it's your mind. In leadership spaces, it's your presence and influence. Each environment brings out different aspects of who you are, and different women notice different things. Your appeal isn't fixed. It shifts depending on age group, social setting, and culture. Younger women may be drawn to physical strength or social clout. Mature women often respond to emotional stability, quiet confidence, and life experience. Culture also plays a role. Urban areas may favor ambition and polish, while rural spaces prize authenticity and groundedness. What makes you attractive in one place may go unnoticed in another. As you grow older, your appeal often deepens. Confidence, emotional intelligence, and earned success amplify your presence. The very things that take time to develop become what set you apart. Many women, especially those tired of shallow interactions, gravitate toward men who embody maturity and inner calm. Understanding where and to whom you're most magnetic allows you to move with intention rather than confusion. You're not overlooked, you're just waiting to be recognized in the right light. Maturity brings a kind of strength that youth simply can't replicate. It's not just about age, it's about what age gives you. Financial stability, career accomplishments, emotional depth, and most importantly, confidence that's been earned, not performed. That confidence shows. It's in the way you walk, the way you speak, the way you pause before making a decision. It's calm, not arrogant. It's powerful because it doesn't need to prove anything. Younger men may have energy, but they often lack experience. They haven't endured real failure, loss, or pressure. But you have, and that creates something deeper, a presence. That presence translates into emotional intelligence. You read people better. You know when to speak and when to be silent. You bring weight to conversations because your words come from life, not theory. Mature men also move in richer social circles. Their network is stronger, their lifestyle more refined, and women notice, not because you chase attention, but because you don't need it. You stand out because you take care of yourself, staying fit, well-groomed, and sharp past 40 is a signal of discipline and self-respect. It's not about vanity, it's about value. And when you pair natural attractiveness with social skill, leadership, and wisdom, you don't just become attractive, you become unforgettable. Psychologists call this total appeal. It's not built overnight, it's forged through pain, growth, and time. That's why mature men who've embraced the process hold an edge that youth can't imitate. Most men walk through life unaware of the quiet power they carry. They second-guess their worth. They underestimate the effect they have on others. But awareness is a game changer. Start by paying close attention to how people respond to your presence. Not just what they say, but how they behave. Does the room shift when you enter? Do people pause when you speak? Do certain women always find a reason to be near you? These are not coincidences. They are patterns, and patterns reveal truth. Many men brush off these moments as random. But when you see the same responses again and again, it's not luck, it's signal. You're having an impact, whether you realize it or not. Keep mental notes. Observe the women who glance at you multiple times during a night. Notice the men who mirror your tone or shift their posture when you're around. Pay attention to who listens when you talk and who seeks your opinion before making a move. Then go a step deeper. Experiment with your energy. Walk into similar situations with different levels of presence, confidence, or conversational style. Watch how people react. When you lower your voice, do others lean in? When you say less, do they ask more? When you lead, do others follow without being told? These small social experiments help you identify what part of your natural presence creates attraction, not just with women, but in all interactions. As this awareness grows, so does your power. You no longer operate in the dark. You become deliberate, The key isn't to become arrogant, but to adjust your self-perception to reflect reality. False humility is just another form of self-doubt, and self-doubt blinds you to opportunity. Confidence must be rooted in truth, and truth comes from awareness. When you recognize your actual effect on people, your confidence becomes grounded, not inflated. You no longer chase validation. You don't need to prove anything. Your presence becomes the proof, and that's rare. In a world full of noise and desperation, stillness speaks loudest. Attractive men don't force attention, they command it by existing fully and calmly in their space. This is where true power begins. When you're no longer wondering if you matter because you see the results with your own eyes. Your social awareness becomes a mirror, showing you the level you're playing at. With that knowledge, your decisions shift. You stop over-investing in people who don't value you. You stop shrinking around others who seem louder. You begin choosing where to invest your time, energy, and attention based on results, not fantasy. The result isn't just better relationships. It's clarity, it's peace, it's personal power. And all of it starts with one simple discipline. Pay attention to how the world responds when you show up. Attraction isn't something you achieve once and keep forever. It must be sustained. And the men who do this best are the ones who continue growing. The most magnetic men are both powerful and grounded, driven, yet humble. This rare combination signals emotional maturity and long-term potential. It's not enough to be attractive today. You must evolve. Real attraction deepens with discipline. Don't let compliments or attention make you complacent. Use recognition as fuel, not a finish line. Keep improving mentally, emotionally, socially. Physical appearance is just one layer. Emotional intelligence, communication, leadership, cultural awareness, these create depth. They make you more than a moment, they make you a presence. True growth turns you into the kind of man who doesn't just stand out, but elevates the people around him, and that's rare. Build a life that brings stability, not just success. Career progress signals ambition. Financial clarity shows control, but more important, do you add value to others? Women remember men who make them feel seen, respected, and inspired. Not just the loudest man, but the one who listens and makes others feel heard. The most attractive men combine outer strength with inner generosity. They're not chasing attention, they're living with intention. That's what makes attraction not only last, but grow. Here's something most men never hear. You're more attractive than you think, but the reason you don't see it is because you've been looking for the wrong signs. You've been measuring your worth against loud, flashy standards created by media, not by real human behavior. Movies teach us that attraction is obvious, instant, dramatic, but in reality, it's quiet, subtle, patterned. It hides in glances, in body language, in social tension, and if you're not trained to see it, you miss it every time. Most men ignore the very signals that prove their value. They wait for direct validation, and when it doesn't come, they assume they don't matter. But they do. They just never learned how to see what matters. Female attraction isn't verbal, it's positional, it's behavioral. It shows up in how she orients herself, how she listens, how she stays close but pretends not to. It's strategic, and it's real. Social media, culture, and modern dating norms have made women even more subtle. They don't show their hand openly. And that makes your awareness more important than ever. Recognition isn't about ego. It's about clarity. When you truly understand how people respond to you, you stop guessing. You stop underestimating yourself. And you stop wasting time on spaces and relationships where your value isn't seen. There are signs everywhere. How women position themselves around you. How men compete with you or defer to you. How often people assume you must be dating someone. How your energy changes the room without effort. These aren't accidents. They're reflections of how others perceive you. The shift happens when you stop chasing external approval and start observing real-world feedback. You realize you've been impactful all along, just blind to it. That awareness changes how you walk into every room. It adjusts your confidence not in a loud way, but in a quiet, grounded certainty. You begin to choose more intentionally who you talk to, where you invest energy, what you walk away from, and that's the real power. Not needing the world to validate you, but seeing clearly how you already affect it. Reframing your self-perception isn't about feeling superior, it's about operating from truth. And truth gives you leverage. When you know your true impact, you stop playing small. You step into alignment. And that's when everything changes. If this message helped you recognize patterns you've been overlooking, take a second to like this video and subscribe for more insights into the hidden psychology of attraction and self-worth. And if you know a man who's quietly doubting himself, share this with him, because sometimes one shift in perspective is all it takes to change his entire life. Your support allows me to keep revealing what most men were never taught, to help you move through life with clarity instead of confusion. Now that you've seen how others may already be responding to you, start watching more closely. Pay attention to the subtle reactions, the glances, the deference. They've been there all along. You just weren't trained to notice them. But remember this, the goal isn't arrogance or superiority. It's clarity. It's knowing your worth without needing to prove it. When you begin to understand your real presence, everything shifts. Your self-respect grows. Your choices improve, and the world begins to respond to you in ways that match your true value. This is where quiet power begins.